Today I wanted to have a little bit of fun and make a few predictions for the Packers in this year's draft. Today I've got 5 predictions, starting with a number the player wore in college. So I think one of the first 2 picks will be a player that wore the number 11 in college. Got 2 players in mind when I'm talking about that. I'm talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba, the receiver from Ohio State, and Jalin Hyatt, the receiver from Tennessee. Obvious reasons why the Packers would be interested in JSN. He's arguably, almost certainly, the best receiver prospect in this draft as of right now. The other one, Jalin Hyatt, is someone that the Packers are reportedly really interested in. The dynamic ability of either of those receivers would be a great value add for Jordan Love in the Packers offense. Number 2, I'm saying that 2 of the first 4 picks will be pass catchers, whether that's tight end or receiver. It could be doubling up at tight end, doubling up at receiver, though I don't think that one's as likely. But I do expect a combination probably of receiver and tight end, not necessarily in that order. I expect them to be a little bit different in their skill sets. So, if you're going Jackson Smith-Njigba and you're looking at primarily a guy that's going to immediately impact you in the slot, I think you're going to take a tight end that might be, more of the blocking type. And then on the other hand, if you go with somebody that's a more traditional, outside receiver, you might be looking at someone like a Dalton Kincaid or even a Sam Laporta that's kind of a bit of a move tight end that can play a lot out of the slot. That's kind of what I think. Ideally, I'm hoping for a Jackson Smith-Njigba and a Darnell Washington, or like a Dalton Kincaid and Jonathan Mingo comp, where you're getting a little bit of, variety in what those skill sets are. Number 3. So I think the Packers are more likely to go offensive line in the first round or not go offensive line until day 3. One of those two is going to happen. I mean, if they get a prospect that falls, say, like a Peter Skoronski or Paris Johnson Jr., if a Jackson Smith-Njigba isn't there, or an edge that they don't like isn't there, they'd likely go tackle in the first, I think. If not after that, I don't think they're going to take anybody until a developmental guy on day 3. There's kind of a bit of dearth in that second to 4th, 5th round kind of range for offensive tackle. So I would say we're probably not going to get an offensive lineman until day 3, if not on day 1. All right, number 4, I think the Packers are going to take 2 tight ends that are 6'6" or taller. So looking at this draft class, there are 24 tight ends on, PFF's big board. 8 of them meet the criteria of 6'6" or taller. That includes guys like Darnell Washington, Luke Musgrave, Davis Allen, Zach Kuntz from ODU, a couple other guys in the later rounds. But I think we're going to end up with 2 guys that meet that height criteria. Oh, another one on that list is Josh Wiley, who the Packers did have in for a top 30 visit. All right. And another one, I think the Packers' first 3 picks are going to be receiver, tight end, and edge. Not necessarily in that order, but the first 3 picks will be from those position groups. Receiver and tight end are really targeted to help Jordan Love and give him the best opportunity to succeed in this upcoming season, his first as a starter. Edge is just a position where you can never have too many pass rushers. It's a premium position. With Rashawn Gary coming off his ACL injury, they might need another body in that room who can bring some dynamic ability early on in the season until he's back fully up to speed. So those are my 5 predictions about, what the Packers might do in this upcoming draft. I could be right on some of these. I could be wrong on all of them. But why don't you leave a comment down below on what you think the Packers are going to do in this draft. And I'll let you know what I think of your thoughts.